who, in your mind, who's the starting other guard?
First of all, did you say Oubre Jr.? Come on, bro. It's Oubre Jr. Man, get it together. First of all, you got to get the names right.
Okay.
You get your names right for all these stats
Well,
you do?
first
You
of
can't
all,
get the names right?
You know, Anthony wants the big. Everyone's got the big three. Anthony wants like the big 10.
Five would do. Just give me a starting five.
What do you think? Like,
Okay. All right. Stop the shenanigans.
all of a sudden.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Matter of Stats podcast. The fellas with me, as usual, myself, Kobe, and Billy. We are also very excited to welcome back to the program two-time national champion and 13-year NFL vet, Frostee Rucker. Frosty, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm good, man. There we go. I hear the round of applause.
Yeah.
Add that to the recording too. Yeah.
We're gonna add the screaming girls.
Right, but it's good to be back, fellas. It's good to be back to talk sports with you guys. It's been a while. I've been keeping up with the shows. You guys have been. Oh yeah, I see you. He's got the summertime hustle going on.
You know
at
it.
StayReadyFootball.com. Shout out real quick, but no, I'm here. Let's talk sports. Let's dive into it.
All right. Well, yeah, we're blessed to have you. And before we jump into our headlines, of course, we would like to remind everybody to please check out the Matter of Stats podcast anywhere you get your podcast. Check out our IG, our Twitter, our YouTube page, and make sure you check out our boy Frosty.
Hey.
All right, here we go. The kickoff to the NBA Summer League, the California Classic, is set. The Lakers will play on July 3rd and July 5th against the Spurs and the Kings. So that'll be fun.
That's in Sacramento, right?
It is. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep.
Yep.
Sacktown.
See, Frosty's got it. The Pistons, they have a new man. They hired Monty Williams to a huge deal, 6 years, 72+ mil, potentially could reach $100 million in incentives. The largest deal for a head coach in NBA history. Monty got paid. The Suns, they're hiring former Laker head man Frank Vogel to be their new head coach. Monty goes to Detroit. Frank slides into Phoenix. So he's got a new head coaching job. So congrats to Coach Vogel. In some MLB news, Albert Pujols is joining the league. He's got a new role as special assistant to the commissioner. It's a cool little gig for Pujols, right?
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? How do we get that gig?
How do you sign up for that one?
Yeah, I didn't
put that on LinkedIn.
I didn't see it on LinkedIn. No, I didn't. Some NFL news. The Raiders' new QB, Jimmy G, he is expected to be ready for training camp after his foot surgery. And in some golf news, kind of a big deal, the PGA, the LIV Tour, and the DP Tours are finally joining forces now to make one unified commercial golf entity. So that was a big story that broke this morning. And those are our headlines this week, gentlemen. What you think?
Everybody merging, man. WWE, UFC, PGA, everybody's going crazy with the merges lately. You know?
I like it a lot. I love the people actually working together. You know, these are, most times billionaires, that are stuck in their ways, and now that they're, getting out of the way. And this is true entertainment. Give the people what they want. People want these sports to be global. They want different interaction. They want different media coverage from different aspects of the world. So open it up and just give it to the world. That's what it's all about.
That's a dope perspective. Didn't even think about it like that. That's cool, for sure.
Yeah, the way I look at it.
What do you think? I'm kind of curious, Frosty. What do you think about Jimmy G and what he's going to be able to do for the Raiders this season as you've played for the Raiders?
Yeah. I think he'll serve well. I thought, if they would have kept Darren Waller, that would have helped because, over in San Fran, Kettle was one of his biggest targets. And, Waller is, top 3 in the league at tight end. But they traded him. I think Jimmy G will run the offense efficiently. I think he is in tune with McDaniels. They just have a history. And hopefully that history turns over with terminology that he's able to just to pick up and start firing right away. And I'm sure right now he's coming off the injury. He's got a lot of mental reps, probably just watching practice. But I think efficient-wise and, leadership-wise, people play for him. People like him. He's a well-liked for your team. San Francisco, the fan base, adored him. Obviously, he came in, did what he was supposed to do. Didn't win a Super Bowl, but, he made them consistent. And every chance he got, he went out there and did his thing. So that's all the Raiders need is some consistency and, the ball to, fall their way every once in a while.
Do you think he'll work well with Devontae Adams?
Yeah. I'm sure Devontae's going to get his chance to catch a lot of footballs. Just like how Derek did, they get him into the offense right away. And that's always a good thing because, no one can really guard him one-on-one. I haven't seen anyone really, challenge him like that. Yeah, I think he can get him the ball. They'll find ways to do that. And again, they're bringing back Josh Jacobs. So you always know when you have a running game, that always balances the offense and gives the quarterback a chance.
Mm-hmm. Devontae came out and said he can basically work with anybody. And I agree that he's, definitely top 5 receiver in the league. His route running is impeccable. And
yeah,
I mean, he's right. He can work with anybody. So, it's just going to take some reps together to get that chemistry going. But I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah, as long as, the routes and stuff that he's running, he can still route people up. And if the ball's in any vicinity around him, Devontae can catch anything, And he's played with some great quarterbacks. And, Jimmy G's salary says that he should get the ball there.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think? Do you think the Rams are going to be competitive this year? Or do you think they're going to start the rebuild mode?
I think they're really competitive. Anytime you get to bring your quarterback back, I think one of the reasons they didn't fare so well, I think their offensive line was really fractured by Whitworth retiring, and they didn't really recover from that. And I think the guys that are able to get those playing reps, even though they didn't fare too well, those reps count, and you have to build on something. So I think the amount of playing time those younger guys got, they're going to gel. I think they have a great coach, great system, great defensive line. Aaron Donald's back. So you got a chance. I think they do bounce back, but, that division is pretty tough.
I wanted to get your thoughts on Caleb Williams. Is he the best player in the nation, and can he lead the Trojans to the national championship this year?
Yeah, I think he's earned the right to say he's the best. Obviously, picking up that hardware with the Heisman last year. He really came on campus and did exactly what was advertised. And that's one thing he really stood out. The coaches rave about how smart he is. We see his athletic ability when he's on the field and how much command he has in the offense. We're very fortunate that we are able to get a coach like that can immediately bring us a talent like that. I think SC has a great chance of winning out the pack. It will be tough. I don't think it will be Utah that gives them trouble this year. I think, I couldn't tell you who, but I don't think it's going to be Utah this year. I think they're going to figure it out. Hopefully the defense plays better. That's one thing they really harped on this offseason was about tackling, from defensive backs and whatnot. And hopefully that meant the offense and defensive line would get a little bit more stout up front because the DBs shouldn't have to tackle if the first line of defense can get there first. So, I think SC is going to be a very talented team. They're getting all the recruits in. That transfer portal is big. They're picking and choosing who they want that can gel in with the team they have. And it's the people that are ready to play now. I think that transfer portal for them the next couple of years is going to be more beneficial than just recruiting kids out of high school. But again, they'll get the top tier of whoever it is at any position at this point. And if they just stack them and getting the chance to get in the dance and get in the tournament, whenever you get there, you got to be strong up front because everyone that plays in those title games and those playoffs has a strong up front to them.
Yeah, you're right. You mentioned the defense. I think that that's definitely an area that we expect to be better. And the transfer portal has already proven, obviously, to be huge for
Right.
USC. So you're right. That is definitely a tool that they are getting the most out of that, obviously didn't exist a few years back. So, and you're right. I love Caleb. I love his attitude, his demeanor on the sidelines. It's so fun when they pan to him and you see his on the demeanor on the sidelines. He's engaged. You know what I mean? He's really always talking to his group. So that's what you want in your quarterback.
Yeah, and he's a real leader. And the main thing you always ask from a leader is lead by example. And he's out there playing, and the things that he doesn't go down easy. He just makes all the plays, and I never seen anything like that as dynamic as he played last year. He really put the team on his back. He gave us those extra plays. He gave us those extra 4 downs, by getting out of the pocket, shedding a couple different tackles and getting first downs. I mean, and then doing it with his arm. He's a complete quarterback.
Shifting back to the NFL a little bit, who's the biggest threat you think to the Chiefs and the Eagles this season?
Lions.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but
I'll tell you what,
ruling
they're
that
a
is
lot
incorrect.
better. The Lions are a lot better.
They are a lot better. Yes, in fairness, yes.
They are a lot better, but
I had to say something.
I'm gonna say the Bengals. I think the Bengals are where they are, and I think New Orleans got significantly better with Derek Carr at helm. I'm not, I think I was, watching, who knows what hell podcast or something I was watching, but they were talking about the connection between, Mike Thomas and Derek Carr, and I loved it. But the sneaky thing that they did, they went in there and they got a good tight end, the tight end from the Raiders. They brought him over there too. Again, Derek likes the tight end, that dynamic tight end that can be a mismatch on linebackers, or in the nickel, So I think the Saints are going to be really sneaky.
I know you're seeing to see Buffalo in there. A lot of people, are you thinking Buffalo's kind of on the downfall or something? Or
I wouldn't say that. I think they're in the wrong conference when you got to face Joey B. Just look at that wild card all the way up, who you got to face to get to the Super Bowl. You're going to have someone really dynamite. And now Aaron Rodgers is in the AFC. So you got him, you got Joey Burrow, Pat Mahomes. Even Russell Wilson. If Coach goes over there and does something to Denver,
imagine if D Hop joins
right.
one of those teams.
Right. Ooh, wow!
Oh man,
that's one. He's sitting on the fringe, waiting for the right opportunity, and it's smart, because when he's in that position, he's got to think about the next contract. He's got to think about, where he fits in that room. What's the offense like? Because as you get older and you age, you just can't pick any team. You can championship. You can try to just chase rings. People do that, and I don't think there's any problem with that. I really loved it when like Darrelle Revis did it, and I loved it. You're paying for a talent. He goes in there, he takes care of business, and you get the ring out of it. I like those shorter contracts, a year, 2 years. Because you get back to the table. So the incentive to go out there and ball out is right there. But when you give the team the leverage of a 5-year contract, then they're kind of toying with you. Then you become too expensive. Then you become this, right? So I like the real quick contracts, prove it, make some money. We're going to, we'll, appreciate the hard work you give. You're a talent. I'm going to pay you for a year. Get us a ring.
Nice. Now we're just going to jump all over the place and go right back into the NBA, because who put this agenda together, Anthony? We
always got to end with the Lakers, baby. Come on.
True.
Before I go into my Laker question, just real quick, your quick thoughts on the Panthers and their number 1 pick in Bryce Young.
I think Bryce Young will be a talented quarterback. I think if they throw him to the Wolves right away, it might be detrimental to them, because He doesn't look like a very, very big guy that can take that abuse. I was very nervous when Joey Burrow was out there as a rookie and he was just getting served up, and he ended up tearing his ACL because of that. Joey Burrow, a different beast, and never complained, got back out there and got to business and ended up getting to the Super Bowl. I think Bryce Young is a talented guy. I think he's small. And I just, I hope he's able to stand in the pocket and get the ball down the field. But it's a rebuild. So with Christian McCaffrey not there, everything's starting to change a little bit.
What a crazy run too, right, for San Francisco. Once I saw Christian McCaffrey's last game at SoFi, and I was just blown away by his athleticism and just he looked like a man amongst boys, and then he's traded the following week, and they go on like a 9-0 run with San Francisco. It was crazy. But
I thought San Francisco was going to take it all right when they got him, because that was the only thing between him and Debo.
Yeah,
that's a punch.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, let's get into some Lakers talk real quick here. What were your thoughts? What were your takeaways from this Lakers season? Obviously, we got off to a rough start and then picked up steam in the second half, So what are your takeaways, and what would you like to see this summer?
I wish the team that we start with and, we start the season with is thought out more than just bargaining chips for later.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like it's like plain as day some of the moves sometimes that it don't make sense, and especially with the moves we make when the guys are really old. It's like, I get it, but you can't put 3 of them on the court at one time. I get it, but it's not the same. These younger players are so much more skilled, and they're going right at you. They're running up and down the court, and if you have 3 guys on the court that have to go at the same pace and they can't run like that, it just didn't make sense. So I do. I lightly applaud Rob for changing the lineup and giving us a chance. And those guys fared out. They played great. They played hungry and scrappy, and they really carried our team into the playoffs. Because Braun was hurt, he was down, and those guys came together and played. And I felt like they got better when he was off the court, and that was something that it may be controversial or not, but it was the proof. It was like when he was off the court, they did play better. And they got used to each other quick, and they were lobbing it and running and and playing fast. And I love that showtime when you're playing fast.
Yeah, Anthony, I think we might have to replace you with Frostee on this.
Yeah,
podcast.
maybe.
Me, Billy, and Frostee.
He just said exactly what Colby and I.
Well, no, Frostee made the point that I always make, right? He marginally applauded Pelinka for making the move.
Well, yeah, from the beginning, I was thinking that too. I was like, Anthony, you love that marginally thing.
Well, yeah, but like Frostee said, you start the season with a roster that cannot compete, and you want to call it bargaining chips, you want to call it saving money, you want to call it not willing to spend money because you screwed up getting rust, whatever excuse the front office wants to throw out there. You started a team that you knew was small, old, and couldn't shoot. And you saw it. That's why they sucked. And then you make some not major moves, but just enough to make the team competitive, get a little bit of shooting, a little bit of youth, and lo and behold, look at that. Best record in the second half after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Well, you can make the argument that we were small. I'll give you that. But old, no. With the team of last year was old with Dwight and with Carmelo and all them. So we went younger and couldn't shoot. Again, we've made that point. Like we filled it with guys that at the start of the season did have a proven track record. Again, like when we got Pat Bev, he instantly became our best career 3-point shooter. And we talked about the growth within at last year's media day. And, it's not like we didn't have like we had a bunch of bums that couldn't shoot. So it just didn't pan out that way until the deadline when.
Hold on. Did you say Pat Bev was like.
Well, but see, that's the problem.
Were you counting on that? Were you counting on Pat Bev?
Yeah, that sounded bad how you said that.
No.
That's the problem. when you hold on, Kobe, when you lead with we went into the season with Pat Bev as our best 3-point shooter, there, you got a problem.
Hey,
that's a problem.
We can all be Monday morning quarterbacks, right? We can all look back in hindsight and say, hey, it was a problem, but he was a proven defender, and he came in, like I said, for Pat Bev to be your career best 3-point shooter.
And we get what you're saying, but that we're not.
He came
supposed
in
to be
percentage.
counting on that. We're not supposed to be counting on that.
Exactly.
No, I know, but it didn't help that going into the trade deadline, LeBron is jacking up like 7-8 threes a game, and he's shooting a career low from the 3-point range. I think we anticipated LeBron. I think we anticipated Anthony Davis to be better from 3. So to sit here and say that at the start of the season we had 0 shooting, I just don't agree with it 100%. That's all I'm saying. So, but
I mean, it's a fair statement, and I'm not going to dog you for it. But I would also say, you also have an MVP in the big Joker that doesn't have to shoot threes all the time. So I just want more consistency and like being able to actually get a good rhythm and like score when people are open. I don't like when our guys miss free throws, especially the guys that are considered the best ever in the world. And then they miss these free throws, throughout the game, and then we lose by 1.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's no accountability for it. There's no really no thunder and rain and lightning that's coming down on them for it. And it's more accountability for me. Things are getting swept under the rug a little bit as for, you got to call everybody out. And it's hard when you got superstars, and I get that. But for me, as the general manager, is me running this ship, knowing what it takes to win a championship, going through injuries and everything. I know the fabric of what I want to build, and I want to build around other players than what we are doing now.
And real quick before we go into the next subject, I'll also bring this up too, kind of looking back on it. When we got Malik Beasley at the trade deadline, Malik Beasley was like statistically one of the top 5 3-point shooters in the NBA when we got him, and everyone was like, oh my God, like this guy's gonna do great around LeBron and AD, and he went into the slump of his life, so there's that factor too.
Why is that?
He started off really good, and then he went into a slump, and then just benched him. Like they didn't even give him a chance. So
but it's twofold there. Yes, he did go into a slump, but the reason why he was out of the rotation was because he couldn't play defense. It wasn't solely just because he couldn't make shots. It's if you're not making shots and you can't play defense, that's really why the coaching staff had to pull him completely out of the rotation.
We were winning games with him in there and making shots.
No, I'm not.
You can't say
D'Lo's not, and D'Lo's not the best defender either, but he was lighting it up.
But he was making shots until Denver, right?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. Again, you can look back on a Malik Beasley scenario like I brought up with the Pat Bev, not to justify anything, but I'm just saying, like, we look back on it in hindsight.
Don't worry, you didn't.
And you're like, Malik Beasley was supposed to be, phenomenal around LeBron AD, and now everyone's like, who cares if Malik Beasley's here next year or not, So that's all I'm saying. So, for sure.
And none of those guys might be here come July, so who knows?
Again, and then what is that, a rebuild? Or is
we're going to get into it. Bring us on.
So moving along here, we want to talk a little more Lakers, specifically here, as we obviously continue our free agency talk during the summer as we lead into July 1st. Want to get everybody's thoughts on what you guys think the Lakers' biggest offseason need is.
Continuity. I'll go first.
Okay, I was going to let Frosty go first, but fine, go first.
Go ahead.
It's not as tangible. I know, Anthony. It's not what you want because you want something specific. But
there's no right or wrong answers.
To me, I think it's continuity. Frosty just alluded to it a second ago. So I mean, I've been saying it. We can't be blowing this up every season. We need to bring back this core. We need to give it an honest attempt and run it back. Frosty, might you agree that continuity, or did you have another idea of what you think the biggest offseason need would be?
That's a good one. I think that's a fair statement. They do need that. They need to play together and gel, whoever that starting 5 would be, right? But I want LeBron more to not take the ball up anymore. I would like him to get on the other side of the court and run the offense that way, But he gets all the rebounds, and it's kind of hard to say because he's a walking triple-double. So I think for success-wise and for win-wise, I think he should play a true 3-4.
I agree with both of you. The last, few years prior, we've been blowing up rosters, rebuilding rosters, and then, it's not working, and then trades. And then, obviously this year the trade worked. We got to a certain point, but we just didn't have the energy, I don't think, to push forward. And we were just honestly outmatched by Denver. I mean, you got to admit, they're just a better team. They're real built. You got the Joker. Murray's on fire right now. And it looks like there's just no stopping them.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, you can make the argument that the reason we blew up the last two teams is because we failed. But if we're going to look at the second half of this season as a success, that gives you more than enough reason to want to run it back. LeBron and AD's time here in LA is not going to be too much longer. So you can look at it two ways. We want to quickly put pieces around LeBron and AD to win now. But at the same time, you just had a successful second half of the season, made a deeper run than anybody thought we were going to make. Why not give that a shot at a full run back, a full training camp, and get some continuity going? Anthony, I know you're going to have something to say about that.
No, I agree with all that. And, I would love to run it back.
Or Billy.
How the money, depending how the money works and everything, yes, I would love to run it back. But at the same time, if we can't get all the same pieces, at least we have an idea, and the front office should now have an idea of what kind of pieces and what kind of players we need to make everything work and to make this continuity happen before training camp and when training camp starts, so we don't have to make all the adjustments middle of the season while we're 2-10 or whatever it is. So Anthony.
And the head coach is coming back too. So that's
that's a good thing.
That adds to the continuity.
I
like I said,
what Ham did.
Yeah, and there's no wrong answers here. There's no wrong answers. There isn't something that's going to be off the charts ridiculous. And you're all right. Everything you're saying is correct. For me, I know you like to say I harp on this, but for me, I think the biggest offseason need is still shooting. Right? We talked about it. You started last season with Pat Beverly as your best three-point shooter. Right out of the gate, that's a problem. And then you said you bring in a guy like Malik Beasley, who's a great shooter, but he struggled for whatever reason, fair or unfair. So we still have to find a way to address it in a more consistent manner, because to me, the three-point shooting is not just simply about, we got to be able to make a bunch of threes, right? It lends to everything. It lends to floor spacing. Yeah, it lends to floor spacing. That allows AD to operate in the post without congestion. It allows LeBron to do, like what Frostee said, to be able to play a true 3-4, get high post, get on the block, run the offense, top of the key. If the floor is able to be spread, it helps. Even the offense that Darvin Ham wants to run, that he ran in Milwaukee, is predicated on having a guy like AD, LeBron, Giannis, etc., that can dominate, but have guys around the perimeter that can make shots to allow the spacing necessary for AD, LeBron to attack. So I think it's not just the pure act of being able to make outside shots. It trickles down to everything. And the Lakers' success defensively was predicated on them being able to, get back in transition. So if you're able to make baskets, you don't have to, you can set your defense, right? If you're able to have better floor spacing, you could set your defense. So I think it all ties in, but you're right. Continuity is key. And when I said earlier, some of these guys aren't going to be back, I don't think the Lakers are going to blow it up, but there might be one or two pieces, like Billy said. You might not be able to financially keep Reeves and Rui. I think we would all agree we'd like to have them both back, but it might not work financially. And D'Lo's another thing. Do you keep D'Lo at a slightly discounted rate because you're not going to give him a max contract, but maybe you decide to keep him because it's a little more cost efficient than trying to get Kyrie Irving, which is big fish, but it's going to cost more money. It's going to be more convoluted. You're going to have to get rid of players to do it, or you get a Fred VanVleet in a sign and trade with Beasley, Bamba, whatever. Does it work? Yeah, but it only works if you're able to probably send D'Lo out. So there's lots of ways you can do it, but I think you're gonna run back, at least 4 to 6 of the core. So that's better than what we've seen in the last 3 years. But to me, I think shooting is important. When you look at the regular season for the Lakers, they were terrible. They were 25th in the league in 3-point shooting. In the playoffs, they were 11th.
Not to cut you off, I'm just looking at some quick stats here. D'Lo last season, 41% from 3. Austin Reeves, 40% from 3. Troy Brown, 38% from 3. Lonnie, 37% from 3. A slumping Beasley, 35% from 3. LeBron, 32%, and AD, 26%. So
I get it.
We got shooters around us. You just want more, Anthony. We know.
I just want to win the game.
You always got to have more. But my point is, we talked about D'Lo a couple weeks ago, right? His 3-point shooting was pretty good. But my point is, you're not going to be able to keep all those guys. Beasley's probably going to be gone. Troy Brown's going to be gone. Walker's probably going to be gone. So you're going to have to replace those. So then we can't
satisfy the shooting that you want.
Well, you're going to have to replace those guys with
better shooting.
More shooting. With more shooting.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is,
where are you going to get these
guys,
shooters from?
Yeah, see, Frosty, we go in a lot of circles
this
on
is
this
going to
spot.
command.
A lot of circles.
16 teams in the playoffs. Lakers were 11th in 3-point shooting. You know who is number 1 and number 2 in 3-point shooting in the playoffs? Take a guess.
Miami and Denver.
They're playing in the finals.
There you go. I set up your little point for you. All right, moving on.
There you go. I'll take it. He made a point,
So, all right. One more hot topic about the Lakers to get into. Anthony Davis. This was a topic broached the last couple of days on radio, specifically ESPN was really having a field day with it. Do the Lakers sign Anthony Davis to an extension right now? He's eligible for an extension after August. He's obviously got another year after this season left on the contract as an option year, but he's eligible for a contract extension this summer. Should the Lakers extend him now? What do you guys think?
Mm-mm.
No.
If he has another year on the table, let him play it out and then deal with it. I need him out on the court the first 30 games of the season. You got something to prove, and then we can talk about it. We can adjust it during. But as of then, I also don't think Bron's going to be around for a long time, right? So you need to be thinking about the superstar power that you do have and who you could, who's going to be the last one standing that you can bring someone in to then take the torch. And who's that going to be? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Is that a Klay Thompson? Is that a Duncan from Miami? Who's going to be coming in? LeBron's been talking about playing with Bronny. How does he materialize that up here and make it happen on the court? And if we're doing well and Bronny's a lottery pick, chances are we're not going to get him. So how does that work?
No, I mean, the only reason you would extend AD is if you're going to assume that he's playing without LeBron, because LeBron is really only here for next year, I would assume, because next year after that is an option, and a lot of people are assuming he's not going to be here. So if you extend AD, then you're assuming he's going to, move into the future with us for the next 3-4 years, whatever it is. Right. As crazy as it may sound, I don't think it's a bad idea with this current group, because you think about guys like maybe D'Lo, Rui, Reeves, that in a couple years might be good building blocks around AD, then maybe that's doable. But if we're going to go into this summer with the thoughts of blowing everything up or trading away half of these guys, then 4 years down the line, AD is just maybe Pelicans 2.0 again. I don't think we want that. So if we're going to maybe run it back with a lot of these current guys, then maybe that could be something in a post-LeBron era that's successful for us. What I think.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of talking to him about an extension, because I don't know who do you replace as a superstar when LeBron leaves, right? And you gotta have a serious talk with AD and say, hey, are you ready to take this team over? I know LeBron said when AD they got together saying, oh, AD is going to be, he needs to be the guy and stuff, but I haven't seen the point to where LeBron's ready to let that go.
Yeah.
So with LeBron not in the mix, maybe AD becomes more aggressive. Maybe he becomes more of a leader. Maybe becomes all that stuff kind of starts happening, right? Maybe. I said maybe. I see your face.
He had his chance in New Orleans, and I mean, where did they ever get there?
I get it, but I don't think in his mind he had a chance
with the pedigree and with the championship and with all that now.
And I think if the front office is able to show him like, hey, we can put players around you to help you moving forward, then maybe that'll keep him going and he'll be willing to sign for the next, 3-4 years, whatever that may be, that we're able to do. And a guy with his talent and skill set, I would hate to lose, but you just got to plan on, hey, you got to have guys that are going to be ready to step in when he has his nights off or when he's injured for a few days or whatever. I don't like to predict guys getting injured, but it's just how it is, right? It's how it's been. So, that's my opinion. I would love to have him for the next 3 or 4 years, but we just got to get the pieces around him and make everything work and make him happy as well.
True.
Yeah. Well, and Kobe and Frostee, made good points. Frostee, you had said earlier, that when Bron was hurt and AD was out there with this new group, they played pretty well together, right? They were winning games. They were improving, getting better. Learning, how to gel as a team. And, and Kobe, you're right. Like maybe keeping him with this group isn't the worst thing in the world. Cause if you're thinking like, we got to have a star, he's obviously a good player despite, the injuries and the inconsistencies, he's still an elite player. But I think to me, if you're the Lakers, you have to look at this as if you're going to extend him this summer, or if you're going to wait, the question I would be asking myself is, am I okay with Anthony Davis being the second best player on this team if he doesn't emerge to be the legit number one alpha guy? If the question arises and I can answer that yes, then we extend him, right? But you have to anticipate that. You have to be like, I'm okay with him being the 1 or the 2, and we'll figure it out. If you're saying I'm only going to extend him if he's the number 1 best player on this championship, potential team, then it's going to be risky because he might not be that guy. So if you're okay with it, then but
to your point, then we're going to have 2 superstars that aren't going to be there because LeBron is only have his shelf life is so long. So you're going to have to make a move, and I would be okay with AD being there and letting whatever happens because he's still a mismatch. He's still going to get his points, his buckets, and maybe 2 alphas out there like that aren't good.
And defensively, the way he's been protecting the basket in the playoffs is ridiculous. I mean, 5-6 blocks a game and all these rebounds, even if his shots aren't going, he's defending the basket. That's why I say we need players around him. So if he's having an off night, but he's still protecting the basket, we need guys that can still cover the offense.
Yeah.
Where we screwed up was when we got rid of JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard after that bubble, because the energy on that team could have carried us, and we would have been getting those offensive and defensive boards and running the court. That's what happened. I think when we got rid of JaVale McGee.
Yeah, we're all upset about that part.
Don't worry, Dwight might come back next season, make our life living hell with the Sacramento Kings. So we gotta watch out, man. We gotta watch out.
Frank Vogel's coming after us too.
Before we let you go, Frosty, I know we ran over a little bit here, so we want to just close it out with the summertime hustle camp that's coming up next month. Anthony and I had the privilege of being there last summer, had a blast. Was just great to be out there with the kids and watching you and the coaches and everybody doing their thing and inspiring and all that. So just wanted to give you some time to talk about the summertime hustle camp. So
I appreciate that. So as you guys know, and everybody out there in the media world that's listening and tuning in, I run a summer camp every year. It's called Summertime Hustle. The information on it is at stayreadyfootball.com. But I run this camp in my hometown of Tustin, California. This year we have another sold-out group of 75 kids. That's 25 more from last year. it's always a great positive thing to do whenever you have a chance to do something in your community, and the kids that grow up on the same streets as you, sitting at the same desk you might have sat at in elementary or junior high. And it's been a great thing, connecting with old friends, seeing, my high school friends come out and volunteer, seeing kids that leave the program after they're too old to participate, but they're going to come back and coach and help out. It means something. And I just love being able to help. And, it's a week-long summer camp. We have different college athletes that come out, different professional athletes, city council members. We have police officers. We have fire department. We really make sure the whole community is there to support these kids and to know they have places they can turn to and people who care. And I'm very fortunate to be in the position I'm in, to be able to lend a hand and lend a voice and be a familiar face around those kids. So again, if anyone wants to volunteer, you email us at info@stayreadyfootball.com. Go to the website, stayreadyfootball.com. You'll see George. We'll have another awesome shirt, and we'll be rocking and rolling.
No, man, it was awesome. Me and Anthony had a blast last year. I loved the different themes that you had every single day. It wasn't just about the football. It was about getting your education and, all that good stuff too, man. It was so much fun, very inspiring. I love this year. It's at Tustin Sports Park. That's, old home turf right there. I love it. So I can't wait, man. I'm going to be there. I'll be there all 5 days, and hopefully the fellas can join me too. And Anthony, any thoughts on your experience from last year?
No, you guys said it all. It's fantastic. It was such a great experience to be a part of it. I was inspired. I remember the first day I was just like, man, I want to get out there and climb the wall. Like, these coaches are firing me up. So it was a lot of, it was a lot of fun. I was blessed to be able to go last year, and definitely, want to come out and help again this year.
And that summer camp is going to be running July 17th through the 21st. And on top of that, we are a 501(c), and we are a nonprofit. So as we raise this money, this money goes right back into the community, these kids, as they play various amounts of different sports. And what we do is we fund participation. We fund their shoes to be able to play basketball, their fees to be able to play, and that's what we do. And next year we are adding a basketball camp. So.
Oh yeah,
I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready. I'll be there for sure. Hey, and we're gonna put all the links in the show notes as well. So we'll definitely have all the contact info. Let them know real quick, Frostee, where they can find you on IG and Twitter and the social media links.
Yeah, you guys can find me at The Organic Frost or Frost. I'm on there, and you give me a follow you back maybe. If I get around to it, but no, I appreciate it all. No, again, guys, thanks for having me on. It's always a blast to talk to you guys.
We appreciate you coming on.
All the different sports, I really feel like you guys care, and that's why I don't mind coming back on.
For sure. We appreciate having you on, and Anthony, wrap us up.
Yeah, we can't say enough. We appreciate you being a supporter of us, and like I said, we are a big supporter of you, and we love it. So thank you again for coming on. And as always, thank everybody for listening to the Matter of Stats podcast. Please make sure you check us out anywhere you want to find your podcast: Spotify, Apple. Check out our Instagram, our Twitter, our YouTube, and we'll be back at you next week.
Peace.